Good evening and welcome to another Folk Beeston Club show. I'm Colin Tucker.
And I'm Andy Cooper.
Now, Andy, what a great week it was last week. We had some super guests on, didn't we? And some lovely opening music.
That's right. Jill and Bernard Blackwell played some of their Kaylee songs, playing various instruments, calling out.
Yeah, including some lovely Northumbrian pipes as well from Bernard. And talking of pipes, we also had one of our guests were playing pipes. That, of course, was Green Matthews. But the other guest was our lovely friends, the Beeston Kaylee Collective, in a fabulous composite video. And they, of course, were also playing some dance music. So very much a dance theme last week, wasn't it?
It was really good, really good. Toes tapping stuff.
What about, I mean, we had loads of, but you keep the statistics, but I counted, I think it was 44 people had joined the show at any one time. And of course, some of those screens are shared. So what, 50, 60 people maybe watching?
I would think so. And of course, people can look at replays during the week, both on Facebook and on YouTube. And we're reaching about 200 people.
Yeah, and by the time you watch this on Friday, last week's will be up on YouTube, but if you miss it by 2 or 3 days, you can go back to the Facebook page and see the current show you're about to see. And while it's on, don't forget to comment on it. We do love to see the comments, often quite amusing, a little bit of banter between people, or obviously nice compliments about the performances. So that's all good. If you haven't done it already, do please join in. But anyway, what have we got this week, Andy?
Well, first off is fellow organiser John Chambers, who's having a cheesy time with Les Barker.
Sounds interesting and tasty. He's followed by Sylvia Stevens, who's doing a song, as she often does at the club, by obviously a great favourite of hers, Harvey Andrews.
And our resident blues guitarist singer, Joe Sempik, is doing a song he's written himself.
Yep, he is. And then our first guest of this week, that's Jenny Bell and Will Walker, doing I think it's a combination of song and tune, but they're both, we think, traditional. Of course, that's followed by our feature at our interval, but we'll tell you about that when we come to it, won't we?
Okay, and then after the break, we've got James Minns, who is doing a number by John Prine, a tribute.
Yeah, the late John Prine. And that's followed by Phil Harrison, who, not unusually for him, I'm sorry to say, it's a song about blood and death and murder and mayhem generally. He does seem to like those.
And Mick Pearce is going into the realms of jazz, doing a number by Rob Johnson about Billie Holiday, the jazz singer.
Excellent. And we finish off with our second guests, AJAR, a local band who we've had not that long ago as a feature at the club. And that marks the third week in a row that we're going to see and hear from Juliet Woodin on her concertina. And also, it's worth mentioning that Rick, if you don't know him, the guitarist in the band, is genuinely left-handed. So please do not adjust your set. I know we've had quite a few people looking like they're left-handed who aren't really, but Rick genuinely is. And they, of course, they're doing an Irish traddy type song.
Okay,
anyway.
So it's into the first number then, and welcome to John Chambers.
Hello again, everyone. It's Les Barker's slightly irreverent take on an old English song, good English song. It's All the Hard Cheese of Old England. Do join in, there's a bit of a chorus. There's Cheddar and Cheshire and Lancashire too. Leicester's bright orange and Stilton is blue. It waxes quite lyrical, what can we do but sing all the hard cheese of old England, in old England, very hard cheese. Now Derby's got green bits because of the sage, and as it gets older, it's kept in a cage. And what does it hum when it reaches this age? But all the hard cheese of old England, in old England, very hard cheese. They say double Gloucester is twice as nice. They say double Gloucester, that I've said it twice. It's nice in potatoes, but it's nicest in mice. So sing all the hard cheese of old England, in old England, very hard cheese. Those Edam foreigners aren't worth a mention. Old Gorgonzola is renowned for its stench, and his brother Emile wrote novels in French. Now sing all the hard cheese of old England, in old England, very hard cheese. There's Swaledale and Wensleydale, Rutland to add, there's Shropshire and Cornish you may not have had. It's not bad on salads, this ballad's not sad. So sing all the hard cheese of old England, in old England, very hard cheese. My young love said to me, my mother won't mind. And my father once liked you for your lack of rind. No cheese greater love for his food than mankind. So sing all the hard cheese of old England, in old England, very hard cheese. Last time. Sing all the hard cheese of old England, in old England, very hard cheese. I had a Facebook message from President Macron, which I struggle to understand. It said, I would like to pay my own fromage to your fine English cheeses. His own fromage? Fromage? Fromage. Merci beaucoup, monsieur. À bientôt.
Hello everyone, it's Steve here, and my pleasure to be talking to Sylvia Stevens, who's going to be telling us about taking a little time, I think.
This is true. So I'm going to sing Take a Little Time, which is a song that's been written by Harvey Andrews, who I am a fan of, I think I can say, because I used to see him in folk clubs in the 70s and 80s, and I've got 3 of his LPs.
Okay. And why this particular song?
It's just, I like the songs that he does that are, it's about people watching, a lot of his songs are. And so it takes you through different emotions and things like that that are in everybody's life. So I rather like it for that reason.
Fantastic. Well, I'm very much looking forward to hearing the song. And here we go. Thank you.
If there's anybody with a song, teach us all to sing. If there's anybody with a song, it's a gift to bring. A song's a joy to treasure, each song a sweet new pleasure. If there's anybody with a song, teach us all to sing. If there's anybody needs a friend, let me say hello. If there's anybody needs a friend, let me say I know. A friend is a joy to treasure, each friend a sweet new pleasure. If there's anybody needs a friend, let me say hello. Love is all we hope for, peace and harmony. Every love's a part of you and a part of me. If there's anybody with a dream, dream it every day. If there's anybody with a dream, don't let it drift away. A dream is a joy to treasure, each dream a sweet new pleasure. here in love, give it time to grow. For love's a joy to treasure, each love a sweet new pleasure. If there's anybody here in love, never let it go. Love is all we hope for, peace and harmony. Every love's a part of you, and a part of me. So take a little time each day to remember when you didn't have a song to sing or a friend, but then one thing led to another, and a dream became a lover. Yes, take a little time each day to remember when you didn't have a song to sing or a friend, but then one thing led to another, and a dream became a lover. Yes, take a little time each day to remember when. Yes, take a little time each day to remember when.
Joe, nice to see you, and it's great that you and Anne are pretty regular at the club these days, having found us 3 or 4 years ago. You know of us, but started to come 3 or 4 years ago, and I know you from the past at the Three Horseshoes folk club that Dave McGeever ran in Beeston, so you're not new to folk clubs in Beeston anyway.
No. We used to go to the folk club in the 1970s, Anne and I sometimes. It was, probably 77, 76, 77. And what we see when we come to the second time around, a lot of the people we saw in the Three Horseshoes, we see still at the second time around. I mean, certainly, I remember Phil Harrison, from a long time ago. It was lovely to see him, again.
It was an excellent club. I wasn't a regular, but I called in quite a few times and always enjoyed it. So, and you say some of the regulars from those days are still around, which is great. And also you do the Ferrets on a Monday night, which I know you're from, and you do open mics, which I know you enjoy.
We do, yeah. The Ferrets are always good fun. It's a sing around on a Monday night, and occasionally do the open mic at the Hot Pole. The Hot Pole, it's good fun. It's the second and last Friday of the month, and you get a whole variety of different people, from poets to bands, from the great, the good, and the bad, and the terrible. It's something in between. It's just good fun.
An eclectic mix.
Exactly.
And I was surprised when you told me you come from Birmingham and you're familiar with the Peaky Blinders theme song. Open having done the Detectorist theme song recently, hopefully one night we might get the theme song from Peaky Blinders from yourself.
Yes, I do an acoustic version of Red Right Hand, and I'll do that. I'll record that for the future. And yes, I am a Brummie at heart. I was born there. I was born just outside what we used to call Elmdon Airport, which is now Birmingham International, very posh name. But I was born at the hospital there. So yes, and I used to love Birmingham. It's a fascinating place. And as a teenager growing up, there was all kinds of things to see. It was lovely.
I try to imagine how many Sempiks there are around Birmingham. Not too many, perhaps.
I know there aren't, actually. I think there's probably only 2 Sempiks in the country. I haven't come across any other Sempiks in the UK. Just me and Anne.
Well, we look forward to tonight's song, which is?
Tonight's song it's called Muddy Brown Eyes, and I think the lyrics speak for themselves. So there's, it's fairly plain.
So always great to see you, Joe, and to hear you. So let's go with Muddy Brown Eyes.
Thank you. This song's called Muddy Brown Eyes. With your muddy brown eyes and your lover's disguise, you waited for me. I saw you there, you saw me. So where did you travel and what did you see? And where are you now, and do you ever think of me? It was so long ago that you said goodbye. I saw you in the distance as you
So where did you travel and what did you see? And where are you now? And do you ever think of me? The last time I saw you, you were standing on a train, lost inside your thoughts and staring at the rain. So where did you travel and what did you see? And where are you now? And do you ever think of me? The autumn leaves, they fall to the ground and rustle neath my feet as they slowly turn to brown. The trees are bare for all the world to see. And but when winter comes, will you ever think of me? But when winter comes, will you ever think of me? So where did you travel and what did you see? And where are you now? And do you ever think of me? So where did you travel and what did you see? And where are you now? And will you ever think of me? Will you ever think of me?
It's time to welcome our first guests of the evening, and as you can see, they're with us. It's Jenny Bell and Will Walker. Welcome.
Hi.
Hello, well, it's great to have you on the show. How did you two come together?
I think we'd been going to the Poppy Folk Club, and I had a song which needed some harmony. I think I asked you if you'd like to do something. Was that it?
I think that was basically it, yes. I think you had ideas that your song needed some additional instrumentation.
Yeah, I really liked your fiddle playing, and I thought you'd do a good job. But I was really worried that you're going to say, no, I hate your song.
How long ago was this?
I don't know.
It's quite a long time. I think it must be, it's over 5 years. I think probably more than 5 years, I think.
Yeah, and then you were really, really busy, and you've got so many other people to play with.
Yes, I had to find space in my diary, my packed schedule.
Who else do you perform with then? I know Higgs Boson is one of the projects you're
Higgs Boson is one of them, yes. And I suppose the other main thing I do is playing for dancing. So I'm a member of Dolphin Morris Men, so I dance with them and I play for them, and I also play rapper for the Cat.
And your interest, Will, is perhaps in English traditional music, whereas Jenny's is certainly English, but also more sort of early music, isn't it?
Yes, I mean, I suppose I've come to it from a sort of traditional. Well, I suppose I suppose I was classically trained at school, so I learnt the violin sort of classically at school, but kind of got more into sort of folk music in my adulthood. I started off really playing more Irish music, but as I've got to find out more that there is, in fact, an English tradition, there is an English fiddle tradition to an extent. I've been more interested in exploring that in my own playing and my own sort of choice of tunes.
And what about you, Jenny? How did you get into music?
I taught myself guitar at about the age of 16 so that I could write my own songs. And I didn't have much music before that. We didn't have a lot in the house, and I only heard my first folk music when I was about 19. And then loved early music of all sorts. And I think that my songwriting is very influenced by early music.
And how did you, because you also play the lute, how did you get into that?
It was part of it, yeah. I wanted to play the lute, and I saw a postcard I think it was a post office that was sort of a couple of doors down, and went to him for a few lessons, and we're married.
Oh, right.
Okay.
I didn't half make some progress.
So let's talk about the piece, or is it a combination of pieces that you're going to do today?
It's a song called Old Bones, There's a tune at the front that Will added. The song itself is, I suppose, about recycling. It's about what you do with a dead body.
Okay.
And of course, you make musical instruments out of it. Doesn't everybody?
Intriguing.
Does that come out in the song?
You haven't heard it yet.
No, we haven't.
It's great fun.
We're looking forward to this.
But I think there's quite a tradition of that kind of recycling in traditional folk songs as well, actually, about people making fiddles out of bones and things like that.
Bows out of hair.
Mm.
Yeah, it's not original.
There could be a new line.
The tune is about 17-something, is it?
Well, the tune the tune at the start of the song is called "The Rising Sun," and it's it's an 18th century dance tune, which I think was published in one of the sort of dancing masters of that time. But I got it from, I think I heard it from the playing of I don't know, I think Belshazzar's Feast or somebody like that, and but it's been recently published in a tune book by John Offord, John of the Green, The Cheshire Way, which is a fantastic tune book of Northern English tune books, Northern English tunes, particularly from the northwest of England.
Okay, well, thanks very much for joining us, and let's have a listen to Old Bones. Okay, bye.
Cheers.
3, 4.
what's an old man to do? If I string it well, it would make a small viol. Viol is how I remember. And there was an old man who had an old wife.
Thanks very much, Jenny and Will. That was great. We're now into our, what would be the break, but we're calling it a feature slot when we're going to read out a few notices. And if any of you want to feed in a less than 60-second video notice to go on this slot, then let us have them in plenty of time for the show.
Yeah.
Okay, Colin, do you want to start us off with the Carolina guitar?
Yes, as you saw last week in this slot, Steve Benford introduced the idea that we are probably the first folk club in the UK, I would guess, to have our own guitar in residence. It's a joint project with Nottingham University Mixed Reality Lab, and the guitar's already out on loan to one person. If you want to borrow it, play it, and hopefully record something, then just get in touch. If you want to know more about the project, because you didn't hear last week, then go to our website and you'll see there's a special page all about it now.
And Juliet Woodin would like to mention the 50/50 Festival, which is taking place tomorrow, in fact, from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. It's organised by Roger Williams of A World of Difference on Blues and Roots on the internet radio. Anyway, the notices for that will be down on screen, and so do have a look at that and join in if you can.
Yeah, and talking of music, which is what we talk about most of the time, we've got a guest now who's dropped by to tell us about another opportunity to hear some music online. So let's have a listen to what we got to say to a young man called Jamie.
Okay. Well, hello, and it's great to welcome Jamie Roberts from the duo Gilmore and Roberts, who just happened to drop into our studio tonight.
Yeah, quite by chance. Now, you should have been with us, I think it was April the 10th, wasn't it, Jamie? Which sadly, we had to cancel, no fault of ours, and we were really looking forward to that. But tell us about an opportunity we and all our friends out there are going to have to see you and Katrina live. I think it's next Wednesday, isn't it? Tell us all about it.
That's right, yeah. So Wednesday, the 17th of June, we're going to be doing our first Facebook live stream concert. Because obviously, as with your gig, we had lots of other gigs cancelled as well. So we thought it'd be nice to do something where people who were maybe hoping to see us on this tour that we would have been doing, but weren't able to see us. It gives them the chance to come and see us in a different format. So we've been working hard to try and work out the sort of technical side of the whole streaming thing, which is a complete minefield.
Tell us. And you're actually going to be doing this live from your home, I gather, with a little one waiting.
That's right, yeah. So we're locked down with our 1-year-old daughter, Rosalie. So fingers crossed she stays asleep whilst we're doing the gig. But
Just to prove it,
a minute, so fingers crossed.
To prove it's live, won't it, if she wakes up?
That's it.
And of course it will be. So how are people going to reach it?
We're doing it from our Gilmore and Roberts Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Gilmore Roberts. And there's a Facebook event at the minute. So if people wanted to sort of sign up in advance, they can click interested or going, and they get the updates about it. And we've just posted a little poll on there today in terms of people being able to select what songs they'd like to hear as part of the gig. So that's where we'll be putting all the updates and all that.
Excellent. Well, we can obviously put a link up on our website and through our Facebook. So anybody watching it now, we might even put it up on the screen, but it's easier if you go and find it a bit later on if they're interested. And it is technically a free gig, but we want people to make donations, don't we? And how's that going to work?
I think this has sort of become the new way of working for a lot of musicians, is essentially busking, really. But what we're doing with this, it's going to be a virtual tip jar, so people can put a donation in if they feel, if they don't want to, that's fine. They can watch it for free. But we are sort of making it available for people to donate, and any tips that we do get, there's going to be 50% of it going towards Oliver Stevenson's fundraising page. He's a 4-year-old boy who's the son of a school friend of mine, and he was diagnosed earlier this year with neuroblastoma, and for which he's had to have loads of treatment for. And they've got to raise £230,000 for some specialist treatment in America that massively reduces the risk of it coming back once he's finished treatment. So like I say, 50% of any of the tips that we get will be going towards that.
Okay, that's great. Shall we have a listen to some of the special recordings that you've done as part of this concert, and then we'll come back again?
Okay.
Okay.
Day broke on a woman's body, Mary Ashford, the poor girl drowned. She danced all night with a young bricklayer, Abraham Thornton must go down. The footprints matched the town's suspicion, Mary Ashford, the poor girl drowned. They locked him up in the local prison, Abraham Thornton must go down. Abraham Thornton must go down with the jury who cut him loose, down till his neck's in the hangman's noose, down with the evidence he hid away. For my sister's life he'll pay. He threw down the gauntlet, settle it with a fight. He threw down the gauntlet, whoever wins is right.
If his mouth could shout and swear he would, and the fist he'd wave at his limbs that could, but his presence is enough to do some good out in the weather. But the day is sure, it's a matter of fact, when the birds get wise to the menacing act that his image hides, the movement locked out in the weather with foes in black feather. Through yellow it shows in the rapeseed glow, he does the one thing that he loves and knows, scaring crows. Fearing for his pride as he stands out there alone, if his arms were just untied, he killed two birds with a single stone. Right wing, left wing, sitting on the fence, needing a vote of confidence. The row crow plans his defence out in the weather, and taking heed of the casting vote, swoops the lands with a scornful gloat, sitting proud on the scarecrow's coat out in the weather. And I'm sure that with tears had he eyes that cried.
Is open, but you're scared to make a move towards the great unknown. I know you're vulnerable, feeling unprepared, but you need to leave your comfort zone. I know it's tough to hear, to me it's clear.
Well, those were powerful clips, Jamie. Did you do those in the home?
Certainly not. No. So yeah, that was a selection of music videos that we've done in the past from various songs from different albums. The first one, Gauntlet, was a song, the opening track from our latest album. And yeah, like the visuals, we've worked with a guy for all of those videos that you saw there, actually, a guy called Andy Little, who's he's a professional videographer and does all sorts of stuff. He does a lot of like corporate stuff, and like he does film stuff and that sort of thing, but he's really passionate about music as well. So he, like, one of the things that he likes doing on as a sort of side project is music videos, and he's incredible. He's just got such a great vision, and he's got a way of sort of, he just knows how to achieve what he wants it to look like, and he's a great guy to work with.
Okay, great.
Excellent. But without, I mean, obviously you won't have all those powerful techniques on Wednesday, but what you will have is what we all want, which is your live. And that would be great. So,
of course, yeah. Obviously, for those videos, they were properly produced and shot with expensive cameras and smoke machines and fancy lighting and all that. But next Wednesday the 17th, we're doing it from home live. But we've been working on the tech side of things, like I say, to try and get it looking as cool as we can. So we've got the lights set up, we've got the PA set up, we've got a decent camera, so it looks good. So we're happy with how it's looking at the minute. But yeah, we are going to be performing it live, so it will be going out, and we'll be able to interact with the comments as they come into us. So yeah, it should be fun, I think. I'm looking forward to it.
Excellent. Yeah, well, we are too. I think everybody out there is now sort of interested, and we hope we'll join you and put some money in the jar and support your cause and support you. So thanks for joining us. And I think, Andy, now we have to go on with our show, don't we?
We do, yes. Yeah. Thanks very much, Jamie. That's great.
Thanks for having us. Cheers, and thanks for your support and for all you do. Cheers.
Okay, bye.
Hello there. I'm sure you're all aware, most of you anyway, that we lost John Prine a few months ago to the COVID virus. I've never sang any of his songs before, but I just felt I would like to do it in his memory. And I've chose a lovely song that he wrote called Hello in There. It's basically about older people, which I guess most I say, fit into that category. I certainly do. So here goes, Hello in There. We had an apartment in the city. Me and Loretta liked living there. It had been years since the kids had grown, a life of their own left us alone. John and Linda lived in Omaha. Joe is somewhere on the road. We lost Davy in the Korean War, and I still don't know what for. Don't matter anymore. You know that old trees just grow stronger, and old rivers grow wilder every day. Grow lonesome, waiting for someone to say hello in there. Hello. Me and Loretta, we don't talk much more. She sits and stares through the back door screen, and all the news just repeats itself like some forgotten dream that we've both seen. Someday I'll go and call up Rudy. We worked together in the factory. What could I say if he asked what's new? Nothing, what's with you? Nothing much to do. You know that old trees just go stronger, and old rivers grow wilder every day. Old people just grow lonesome, say hello in there, hello. So if you're walking down the street sometime and spot some hollow ancient eyes, oh just please don't pass them by and stare as if you don't care. Say hello in there, hello. Thank you.
The Murdered Servantman, a traditional song with a similar theme to Bruton Town, which is perhaps a more familiar version. It's about a farmer's daughter who falls in love with the servant of the farm. The two brothers find out about this and take him off hunting and do him in. He appears in a dream to the daughter, explaining what's happened. She goes off and finds his body and comes back and accuses the brothers of his murder. They're subsequently tried and hung. So, sort of a happy ending. And if you look long term, she probably gets to inherit the farm anyway, so it's not all bad. I learnt this from the singing of Tony Rose, who was a fine West Country folk singer who appeared at Beeston Folk Club a few times in the 70s. The Murdered Servantman.
How famous farmers you shall hear, he had 2 sons and 1 daughter dear. The servant man she much admired, none in the world she loved so dear. Said one brother to the other, see how our sister means to wed. Let all such courtship soon be ended, we'll hoist him into some silent grave. They called for him to go a-hunting, he went without any fear of strife. Then these 2 jewels they proved screw, they took away this young man's life. In that creek where there's no water, nothing but bushes and briars grew, all for to hide their cruel slaughter, into the bushes his body threw. When they returned from the field of a-hunting, she began to inquire for her servant man. Come brothers, tell me, because you whisper, come brothers, tell me if you can. Sister, we are so much amazed to see you look so much at we. We've left him where we've been a-hunting, no more of him than did we see. And she lay musing all on her pillow, she dreams she saw her true love stand. By her bedside he stood lamenting, all covered with some bloody wounds. Nancy dear, don't you weep for me, pray Nancy dear, don't weep nor pine. In that creek where there is no water, go there you shall my body find. So she rose early the very next morning, with many a tear and bitter groan. In that place where her true love had told her, it's there she's found his body thrown. The blood all on his lips was a-drying, his tears were salter than any brine. And then she's kissed him loudly crying, here lies a bosom friend of mine. 3 nights nights and days she lay lamenting, and her heart was filled with woe, until sharp hunger came creeping on her, and home she was forced to go. Sister, we are so much amazing to see you look so pale and wan. Brothers, I know you know the reason, and for the same you shall be hung. These two brothers both were taken and bound all down in some prison strong. They both were tried, found out as the guilty, and for the same they both were hung.
I've never been a tortured genius, I know, or any kind of genius. But the history of American jazz is littered with people, quite often the major figures, whose lives were interrupted for long periods and often brought to a premature end by their addiction to drink and drugs. People like these. And then there's Billie Holiday, a singer whose career was often interrupted because of her drug habit. A singer who, even towards the end of her life, when her voice was fading, could still make you sit up and listen. And it was her life that inspired Rob Johnson to write this song, called Down Where the Blues Are Found. She turns up late, she turns up coked, she's turning old behind the paint. So drunk she slips and stumbles, plays Carnegie Hall and mumbles, was a singer, then a sinner, then a saint. She started in a cat house, that was long years ago, when jazz was only for buffoons. Now everybody's humming what they used to think was slumming, jive to those Harlem rhythm tunes. The white guy makes $1 million, while the black girl makes a dime, and they say when your music's made it, you've arrived. But the monkey on her back's full of cocaine needle tracks. She's singing just to keep herself alive. And they know about her habits, and they know about the guys. Call her honey, stole her money, told her lies. But they listen to the radio, never want to miss a show, just in case the lady dies. And all the nice people from the nice part of town come to watch the lady kick the blues around. Some nights she's up, but most nights she's down, down in the bottom where the blues are found. She makes it to the microphone and lasts the evening through. You can lay your nice white problems on her back. She's been cheated, mistreated, never been defeated, played a bum deal from a deck already stacked. Is it tragic or pathetic, being handcuffed to the stand? Romantic or ridiculous, who can say? 'Cause a lifetime with the blues means a lifetime being screwed, crying poor lover either way. And all the nice people from the nice part of town come to watch the lady kick the blues around. Some nights she's up, but most nights she's down, down in the bottom where the blues are found. In the bottom where the blues are found.
Hello, it's guest time again, and it's great to welcome Juliet, Ali, and Rick.
AJAR.
AJAR.
We're there.
We haven't had any trouble with that, I'm glad to say. Ali, tell us about how you came to form AJAR.
Well, before it was AJAR, it was very vaguely Julali, wasn't it, Juliet? We met at Abbey Road Primary School. We were teaching recorders one day a week, and Juliet mentioned the Poppy Folk Club, and then before long I gone along and to see what it was all about, and we kind of got chatting and ended up as a duo, and that must have been about 10 years ago, something like that. And then Rick came along a bit later. 2 years ago? The 2 years after that, Rick?
About that, yes, about that, yep.
And how did that occur then?
Well, on my road some years ago, we used to have an open gardens calling. And Ali and Juliet were the wandering minstrels who'd got up and down the street playing in people's gardens. And they came into my garden uninvited to play. And I was in the back garden showing people around my garden. I came out the front and saw these two playing music. And I thought, that sounds nice. So I got my guitar and went and joined them for a couple of numbers. And I've never left them since. And they can't get rid of me because I'm like a kind of I'm like a garden pest. I'm sort of stuck to them ever since. So that's how I joined them, really.
So Julali turned into AJAR just by the names AJAR, Juliet, Ali, and Rick.
Okay.
Anyway, you make a great sound together. Tell us about the song, Juliet, that you're going to be playing for us.
Well, the song we're going to be playing is Paddy's Green Shamrock Shore. And it's a traditional Irish song about emigration, as so many of them are. I first heard it, the Gaelic language version of it, and just fell in love with it. I think it was Mairead Mooney was singing it from Old Town. I just absolutely loved it. And then, of course, I heard other people's versions like Paul Brady, and I mean, very many people have sung it. And we picked it up from that and developed our own particular take on the song.
Excellent.
Excellent. Well, let's hear your version, AJAR.
From Derry Quay we sailed away on the 23rd of May. We were boarded by a pleasant crew bound for America. Fresh water there Shamrock Shore. So fare thee well, sweet Liza dear, and likewise to Derry town. And twice farewell to me comrade boys who dwell on that sainted ground. If fortune ever should favour me, or I'd have money in store, I'll come back and I'll wed the wee lassie I left on Paddy's green Shamrock shore. I'll come back and I'll wed the wee lassie I left on Paddy's green Shamrock shore.
Well, that's it. That's it, Andy. The end of yet another show. Great one, a two. But let's look ahead to next week. Who have we got next week?
Absolutely. On the Doors Open, we've got another unusual instrument, Eliza Russell playing the harp.
Yeah, lovely. We
Yeah.
do bring them in, don't we, Ash?
We do. And we've got two couples on next week for guests. We've got Jan and Paul Ramsey and our own Julie and Steve Wigley.
Yeah, Jan and Paul, interestingly, used to come to Folk Club in Beeston before second time around was even a thing. So they go back a long way, and they're very good.
And now we're living in Grimsby, so they've gone a long way.
Yeah, they have.
And don't forget the Gilmore and Roberts concert.
That's right. You can find the where to get that concert. It'll be on our website, and of course you find it on Facebook as well, on our Facebook page. So plenty of ways to find that out. But if you want to get our regular emails, which we send out to everybody who's registered, so you know exactly what's coming up, and get a link every time to find the watch party, you can contact us either through our website. Go to the website folkbeeston.club and under contact, or you can use Messenger, can't they, Andy, via Facebook?
That's absolutely right. And of course, to mention the feature spot next week as well, come prepared with your wash bowls and string, because Jim Dunn will be showing you how to make a wash bowl double bass.
Yeah, that's great. So all it remains now is to thank everybody who's performed this week. Thank you very much, particularly our Doors Open music from Edwina Crowder, and the two guests, Jen and Will, and AJAR.
Okay, lovely. And of course, you, the audience, for watching.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Do tune in, and this time next week, or a bit earlier than this time, obviously, about 5 to 8 o'clock, the watch party will be underway, and you'll be able to listen to that lovely harp music and stand by to listen to, once again, some beautiful music played by our regulars and our two guests. Until then, goodbye.
Goodbye.